Hello, and today we are bringing to you a special report as we had the chance of being invited by Lange Sohne, the German fine watchmaking brand, to a marvelous event in Italy that will set the scene for a focus on the Lange 1 time zone. So for once we will not be too Swiss-centered, and this is absolutely fine, trust me. So off we went with our watchmobile direction the Lake of Como, crossing the Mont Blanc Tunnel, the Piemonte region, and ended up just up north of Milano in an unbelievable beautiful scenery as we attended one of the most glamorous car-related events in the world, the Concorso d'Eleganza della Villa d'Este. Lange Sohne has been partner of this event since 6 years now, and the winner of this very exclusive competition receives a special Lange 1 time zone. Reason why I wanted to treat myself as a winner too by wrist testing this fine timepiece. I've always been a great fan of the Lange 1, it has always appealed to me, and it's for sure very distinctive. You recognize the Lange 1 immediately. So regarding the time zone, well, it's not a new model in their collection, but it was indeed the first time I could wear it for a couple of days, and I must say it felt rather good, and even more so in these very glamorous circumstances. Italians and their natural chic, beautiful cars, good food and wonderful wines. Well, what else can you ask for? Oh yeah, maybe taking a Riva boat on the Lake Como to get and come back to this fabulous venue was yet another fantastic little treat. One could unfortunately get used to this, I have to admit, but let's get back on this timepiece and its main characteristic. And the first thing I want to say is that it's a very convenient and simple watch to use. Like on almost all Lange 1 model, apart from the Tourbillon QP versions, the time is displayed in the main sub-dial found at 9 o'clock with hour and minute hands and Roman numerals. You will find a small second indicator at 6 o'clock of this sub-dial, and by the way, this is a stop-second movement, meaning that once you pull the crown, well, this second hand stops, and this is naturally very convenient if you want to set up super precisely your watch. Stop it on 0, adjust the minute hand, and push the crown back on that exact passage of that minute scene on your atomic clock you keep in your living room, and you're precisely set. But let's talk about the main feature of this watch, the second time zone. At 8 o'clock on the case, you have a push button that lets you select the second time zone you want to display on the smaller hour and minute sub-dial found at 5 o'clock. And at 5 o'clock of this dial, you will find a small arrow pointing at the main city of the desired time zone, and by being in this position, well, you can easily read this indication. I have to admit that pushing this button is a pleasure in itself, and is yet another fine example of what fine watchmaking is all about. It's so smooth, you don't have to push it hard, it just goes in so nicely, and when the 24-hour disc finally moves by one increment, it's just super gentle but precise at the same time. You can really feel some pretty serious engineering and manufacturing behind this mechanism, and it's really in these small details that you mark a difference. And of course, being a thorough tester, I played a few times with this button and I always got the same response from it. Really nice. So let's continue, and on the main dial you can clearly see a day-night indicator found at 12 o'clock, and the cool part of this watch is that you will also find this feature on the second time zone, and these are naturally synchronized. Yet another little detail, but I have to say that this is very practical because you simply don't have to think if it's day or night on that second time zone. Well, you see what I mean, like can I call now or not, is it 4 p.m. or 4 a.m.? Well, no excuse with this watch. And at 3 o'clock you have a power reserve indicator, auf, yes, it's German, and this watch actually holds a power reserve of 72 hours for this hand-wound movement beating at 21,600 oscillations per hour, meaning 3 Hertz. And finally, and of course, you have the big date typical of all Lange 1 models, and you can adjust super rapidly this date with the push button found at 10 o'clock, and needless to say that it's smooth too, a nice feeling again.